Hi everyone, thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing to my channel, thank you for watching on Instagram, Facebook. I really appreciate the support and all the questions. Keep the questions coming in, keep the comments. Today I'm going to be talking about the different skin types. What type of skin do you have? Is it oily? Is it dry? Is it normal? Is it combination? You know, there are about 4 or 5 different skin types. People tend to have either normal skin, oily skin, dry skin, combination skin, or sensitive skin. So I would say those are the 5 main types of skin types. People who have normal skin are people who their skin is not too oily and is not dry. People with normal, in quote, skin can use any product, skincare products, and usually don't have too much. They don't have to do too much on their skin for their skin to look good. Average of about 50% of people would have normal skin. Then you have oily skin. Oily skin is characterized by excessive production of sebum or oil, and people with oily skin tend to have enlarged pores on the face sometimes. People with oily skin tend to also have blemishes. They're more likely to have acne. Then you have people who have dry skin. People with dry skin, generally their skin has less oil, and so they tend to have a bit of flaky, sometimes scaly skin, and they usually, have an increased tendency to have, wrinkled skin and itchy skin. And then you have people who have a combination of normal, dry, oily, which happens quite often. The combinations of oily and dry skin, usually you find that a person has an oily face and then the rest of their body is either normal, or sometimes the extremities are dry while the face is oily. The parts of the face that tend to be quite oily are what we call the T-zone, and that's the forehead, like that. So you have the forehead here, the nose, down to the chin. And then you find people sometimes having very oily face in this area, that's the T-zone, and then the rest of their skin is dry or normal. And that's what is tagged combination skin. Then some people have sensitive skin. Sensitive skin could either be dry, could either be oily, but what characterizes sensitive skin is that the skin is hyperreactive. So that it's characterized by an easy irritable skin. Usually there may be some redness, some itchiness, some pepperiness, with application of some certain or just general skincare products. And sometimes they may develop things like wheals when they apply certain things on their skin. So how do we manage the different skin types? Like I said, with normal skin, usually anything goes, but that doesn't mean that you should just use any terrible or harsh product on your skin. You should still make sure that you find what works best for your skin, or all of the time we recommend pH balanced cleansers and a good moisturizer. But with oily skin, you want to use something, you want to use products that will not worsen the oiliness of the skin. You want to use things like lotions. Now, a lotion is different from a cream because a lotion has less oil in it. And if you have oily skin, you actually don't need too much of extra oil on your skin. So using something that is a water-based moisturizer that is mostly water, like a lotion or a gel, is usually preferable to using a cream or an oil or an ointment on your skin. However, people with dry skin will need to use the opposite of what people with oily skin need to use. For instance, a person with dry skin preferably should use something with more oil-based, even though they'll need a moisturizer. And that's because people with dry skin have a problem. Their skin has a problem with keeping or retaining moisture and kind of lacks some of the natural moisturizing factors that are in the skin. A person with dry skin will want to use skincare products that will help to retain or trap some of the moisture into the skin. So things like oils, creams, and ointments will be useful for people with dry skin. So we have things that we call emollients, and we have what we call humectants. We'll be talking about emollients and humectants on another day. Now, it's very important for people with sensitive skin to look for products that are called hypoallergenic. Hypoallergenic products means that they have less of the things or the substances or chemicals that can sensitize or can irritate the skin in them. It's very important for people with sensitive skin to use pH balance cleansers and to try as much as possible to avoid fragranced products. So fragrance-free pH balanced products are essential for people with sensitive skin. And you can find those, though they may be a bit more expensive or a bit more scarce, but it's possible to find some of them in any environment. People with combination skin may, of course, have to have one product for the oily aspect, and then they could use another product for another aspect of their skin. So generally, for people who have the T-zone oiliness, we want to use something that will reduce the oil, but not completely wipe out the oil on the skin, because you still need some oil. And there's something that happens when you have oily skin and you strip the skin of all the oil. It just makes the skin produce more oil. So people with oily skin still need a moisturizer to moisturize their skin, while using something that would reduce, or minimize oil production. So while you don't need to use an oil ointment or anything, you shouldn't use all these alcohol-based toners that would strip the oil, or very harsh soaps that can strip the oil from the skin, because that will just make the skin produce even more oil. So a good moisturizer, a pH balance cleanser, and some people like to use a toner, though toners are not absolutely necessary if you already have a pH balance cleanser, but you can also inculcate that in your skincare routine. It's also important for people with dry skin to constantly moisturize. So a person with dry skin may need to use their moisturizer more than once in a day, as opposed to a person with oily skin who may just need to use their moisturizer once. But with dry skin, you may need to use it twice a day. There are also some environmental conditions that can affect the kind of skin type that we have. For instance, some medications can make you to have oily skin or can make your skin dry out. Sometimes hormonal influences, like sex hormones, I would say androgens. So a lack of those sex hormones like androgens and estrogens tends to make the skin dry, while an excessive amount of the sex hormones tends to make the skin more oily. Some skincare products also can affect, the texture of your skin. If you're using a product that has a lot of oil or ointment when you don't necessarily need it, it can make your skin oily. Some makeup products are what we call comedogenic. They tend to be oil-based and can make your skin look oily. Some products can dry out your skin, particularly alcohol-based products. In summary, we have 5 main general skin types: oily skin, dry skin, combination skin, sensitive skin, and normal skin. And it's important that you try to find out what kind of skin type you have. And this is what will help you to know what is the best kind of skincare products you need to use on your skin. Don't just use something because my friend is using it and it made her skin look amazing. Your friend may have a different skin type from you. What works for A may not necessarily work for B. So it's very important that you keep that in mind and try to find out what skin type you have before, developing a skincare routine. But there are some basic things, like we've spoken about much earlier in other videos, that all skin types can benefit from and everyone should try to do. So I hope you've learned a bit about the different skin types. If you have any questions or comments, please put them below. and we would like to hear from you. Take care and take good care of your skin. Ciao.